Hello and welcome to this Dawn Busters Taste Challenge. Here we are in February 2018. It's about 43 degrees outside, chilly. It's damp, might be dry today. That's irrelevant to the hangout. We've got a whiskey, a bourbon whiskey, a straight bourbon whiskey from 1903. Well, not this particular bottle, but the brand. Kentucky Tavern. This is a liter bottle. It was $10.99 at Dorgnac's. Kentucky Tavern, aged 3 years, produced, of course, in Kentucky by the Sazerac Company at Buffalo Trace Distillery in Frankfort, Kentucky. And it is going to battle against Redemption High Rye, introduced in 2010. 107 years later. This is 92 proof. The Kentucky Tavern is 80 proof. This is just a bourbon, not a straight bourbon. It is only aged 1 year. And it's from Indiana rather than Kentucky. Another thing, I said the Kentucky Tavern was $10.99 for the 1 liter bottle, 1,000 milliliters. This was $23 for 750 milliliters. Now, so for $10.99, you're getting 25% more whiskey than the 23. So $11 versus 23, more than twice as much. But the question is, which one's better? Is the Redemption High Rye twice as good? More than twice as enjoyable? My friend David tried it. He wasn't particularly impressed. He tried the Kentucky Tavern. He thought it was good. Oh, maybe he thought they were about the same. I wasn't taking notes, but he certainly didn't think the Redemption was worth 23 bucks. But he had never tried either one of them. Okay, Kentucky Tavern, KT, an old time brand. You can do a Google search or Yahoo or Bing and see old photo advertisements from newspapers and magazines over the decades. They don't really advertise it anymore. Maybe at point of sale. You might see it in liquor stores, convenience stores. I've never seen any advertisements. And the only place I've ever seen it sold is Dorgnac's, which has a much larger than usual wine and liquor section than most stores around here, okay? So next time I want to get some more liquor, I'll go there. But when would that next time be? Years from now, hopefully, because I've got so much I've got to address. But like I said, once I finish with the Sacred Bond, the Christian Brothers Sacred Bond, 100 proof brandy, aged 4 years in bourbon barrels, interestingly, then I'll start ramping it up. But that 100 proof is too strong for me. It's too strong. I can't take it. Other people like it. I just can't take it. Maxwell says, hi, Ron. Glad to see you. What's up? Well, just doing a taste challenge. And I was just talking about that. What's the weather outside? It's still damp and cold. It's cold, 43 degrees. Okay, these are both amber. It rained so much yesterday that it started leaking in the roof of the Smoothie King Center, the New Orleans arena, and water was dripping down onto the court, the NBA basketball court. So the game was postponed. They could not play the Indiana Pacers at New Orleans Pelicans game last night. And I was trying to rush negative 10 degrees Celsius. That sounds perfectly miserable. I was trying to rush through the hangout, not to say not do a good job on their examination of craft lagers, but once they got off air, I wanted to get off that chat so I could go watch the Pelicans game. But I'm in full clothes. So I go watch the Pelicans game. Yeah, too cold for me. This is too cold, and we're above freezing. And they say it's delayed, and they kept waiting to start the game, and they never did start it. They don't know where the leak was coming from, somewhere on the roof, and it was, you know, these roof leaks go, they say, it could start 100 yards away and trickle down, and that's not a good sign if this arena, which is only 19 years old, has a roof leak. But I went to see the Houston Astros at the Minute Maid Park, and it was leaking pretty bad when they had a heavy rain. It was leaking. There was a lot of water coming in. Where we were sitting, we had to move over. We were going to get drenched with all this water leaking in. All right. They've had many leaks at these football stadiums, basketball arenas, baseball stadiums, if you ever watch television. Lots of leaks. Okay. So the appearance is the same. Alcohol eggs, amber. You're not going to get much difference on appearance. So we got a bourbon versus a straight bourbon. All right. 92 proof bourbon versus 80 proof straight bourbon. Indiana versus Kentucky. Indiana Hoosiers versus Kentucky Wildcats. All right. Smells nice. Rye, peppery, spice. Peppery, rye, spice. Some sweet, sugary caramel. Some dried wildflowers. Remember, Buffalo Trace tends to make high rye bourbons, and Kentucky Tavern is one of them. So I may have a real heck of a time telling these apart, which will teach me one thing, which is a lesson I probably already know, and you probably know too. The lesson being, I'm not paying $23 for something that doesn't taste any better than a bottle I can get for $11, especially when I'm getting 25% more liquid. 1,000 milliliters versus 750 milliliters. I mean, that is not any kind of value. Oh, it's got a pretty cork cap, a medicine-shaped bottle, but I'm not doing it. This one here smells, some peppery rye spice, a little sweetness, the caramel, like I said, dried flowers also, maybe some candied fruitcake fruit, whereas the other one I didn't pick that up. Let's go with the taste challenge. Hello, says Jay. Hello, Jay. Hello to you. Well, I guess I think this one has even more of a. Where's Hoobity Flyers? I don't know. This one has, he might be at work. This one has more of a, I think a dried flower, that dried nectar, dried flower note. I don't know. Let's go with the taste. Okay. Sweet corn, some menthol, dried flowers, and sugar. I said sweet corn, sugar. From my memory, it tastes like Kentucky Tavern. Okay, which is a wonderful bourbon to me. And I've never seen any other video reviews for it, I don't believe, except for mine. Maybe somebody did it, but I don't think so. It's not one of those kind of snazzy bourbons. So if you look at like video reviews, there's like certain ones that everybody reviews, and then there's others that are out of hand ignored. You know, they just don't, people just don't address them. I don't know why. It doesn't seem right to me, but there's so many. Oh, whew. Sweetness, the caramel, the menthol, but there's a stronger alcohol burn here. This has got to be redemption. Who needs coffee when you've got bourbon? Well, I already had 3 cups of coffee, capital Steez. Schlitz Goebel, 8.5%. Oh, no. Those two are too strong for me. St. Ides is over 8%, and Steel Reserve, I mean, the Schlitz Goebel is 8.5%. They're good. They're well made. They have a good flavor, but they're too strong. I don't like them. I like 6% malt liquors. Anything at 6.0 is perfect. Steel Reserve, 6%. The old retired St. Ides, 6%, no longer made. You know, King Cobra, Old English 800, 6% that we get here. It might be 5.9 here, but I believe it's 6. 5.96, about the same thing. Yeah, those are just perfect. They did sell a Natty Daddy 6% down here for about a month, but it wasn't too good. For some reason, it didn't taste right. The Natty Daddy that's 8% tastes pretty good. Too strong for me, but it has a good flavor to me. Hurricane 6%. Yeah. That's a good one. The black label, which I never see. It's really not sold around here too much. They were selling it concurrently with the 8.5. I'm sorry, 8.1, 8.1. But the 6% Hurricane got chased off the shelves by the 8.1, believe it or not. So I say it's too strong for me. It's not too strong for the average South Louisiana consumer, obviously, because I see Hurricane High Gravity in the 12-ounce cans, 25-ounce cans. I saw 40-ounce clear bottles the other day, 40-ounce bottles. So I was supposed to start this hangout at the top of the hour, but I got terribly delayed. I kept getting delayed, so I couldn't make it. Sorry. Mickey's 5.6%, Magnum 5.6. Those are all great malt liquors to me. Country Club, which we never get, we cannot get, that's about 6%. Those are all just fabulous, you know. And it goes on and on. Oh, how could I forget Colt 45, you know. Back to bourbon, though. See this one over here? It tastes and it feels like it has less alcohol, but it also feels like it's got a higher rye content. Mickey's Ice, 5.8%. Yeah, it's actually 5.8. Yeah, that's not sold in Louisiana, nor has it ever been, but it's a nice one, yeah. Okay, this is going to be tough because the Redemption High Rye doesn't taste as high rye as the Kentucky Tavern now. I think the aging could be affecting it because you only have it in the barrel for 1 year as opposed to 3. So neither one of these is like aged for a long time, right? 3 years or a year, that's not exactly deep in the barrel house. Okay, I'm going to call it though. I think, oh, which one's better? Before I call it. Oh, well, let's see about that. Even a little beeswax there. Oh. That's got to be Redemption. Just too strong of an alcohol kick. It's got to be that 92 proof. Beams 8-star. Yeah. Yeah, that's a better than average blended whiskey. But then blended whiskey is very controversial. Some people just get so angry. I don't mean angry about it, but they don't like it. They have a very kind of strident disregard of it. And, you know, you can understand it. It's not a pure, it's inexpensive stuff. But, you know, it's like somebody said, all it is flavored vodka, whiskey flavored vodka. Well, not exactly. I mean, it's a combination of essentially vodka, unaged corn spirits, okay, unaged corn distillate, which can become bourbon, and 20%, usually, not always, usually 20% straight whiskey, and sometimes straight bourbon whiskey. In the case of Beam's 8-star, it's got to be straight Jim Beam bourbon. So it's not flavored with whiskey, it's blended with whiskey, okay? Straight whiskey. and unaged corn distillate, which can become, by the way, can become corn whiskey, but as a class of a product, it can be made into corn whiskey or straight corn whiskey, depending on the aging and the those things. But the point of the blended whiskey is, well, but what if it tastes good? You know what I mean? Like if I drink Beam's 8-Star and it tastes good, and it's not made with artificial flavoring or coloring, it's just pure grain products, water, barley malt, rye, mostly almost all corn, 90% corn. So what difference does it make? If it tastes good, why should I care? I mean, I'm not hung up on that. If it's $7.99 a bottle and it tastes really good, so too bad. Tastes like good whiskey. So anyway, I think this one is a little better. It's a more mellow, pleasant, but yet higher rye flavor. It's got a lot of rye spice, and it tastes like 80 proof. Like it feels like 80 proof. So for local gold, 12%. Yeah, it's 14% here, by the way. For local gold is rated at 14.0% in Louisiana. But let's get off of that. So I think this is better, but not by a great amount. But I think it's also Kentucky Tavern, which means Kentucky Tavern destroys Redemption High Rye, especially when you bring in price point. It is Kentucky Tavern. I knew it. I get them wrong sometimes, I'm not perfect. Now, some people, the way they make comments, they think they are perfect. You know what I mean? If you read their comments, they're perfect. They're basically saying, well, I'm so much better than you. You're so inadequate. Okay. Where are your video challenges? Oh, I don't do that. I have to hide my face. I have very important jobs to do. It would affect my job if people knew I was out here on the internet. Oh, okay. But that doesn't matter because you could wear a mask. You could be off the air. Like, in other words, you could put the camera where your face isn't on the camera, correct? And you could still do taste tests with an alias name, right? Blind taste tests. And we'd believe it. If they were blind taste tests, we doubt you would try to stage it. I mean, you might, because you get maniacs on the internet. They could do these kind of blind taste tests that I'm doing and stage them. You know what I mean? Like, make them fake where they always win and say, look how great I am. But that's just my only contention. It's like, don't say you're bad, you're bad. I mean, I don't care. You could say that, of course, every time. You're bad, you're bad, you're bad. But why don't you do the taste challenge? You get on here and do taste challenges. See how well you can do it. You may not do it any better than me. Of course, another problem is they might just delete. If they fail, they'll delete it. I haven't deleted a single taste challenge. Not a single one. And I've failed a good number of times. So that would, to me, I'm not bragging on me. I'm not. But I'm saying that would help with credibility because now, do I delete some beer reviews sometimes? Yeah, because they don't come out right. Like I did one where I'm in the rain and it's pouring down rain and I was like pantomiming. And then I watched it and I was like, oh, that's okay. It's kind of stupid though. Although the beer, the Coco Drie from Bayou Teche Brewing is very good and I gave it an A. I don't think I'm going to post it. I'm just going to delete it. I can always go buy another bottle of that and do another video that doesn't have all that downpour of rain, and the noise. But I'm not deleting it because I don't think what I said was wrong. I think what I said was correct about it. It's a really good oddball Belgian style / double dry hopped IPA. But that's the only reason I ever delete videos. Usually is just because of I just don't think it came out right. It just looks kind of young, crummy, you know. But anyway, so Redemption High Rye, look, I got news for y'all. This thing has not been performing well at all. It's done okay, but I'm paying $23 dang a bottle, and it's just barely making it against Old Forester, says Jason Voorhees. Oh, my friend David, you know, with the big beard, he's been buying Old Foresters and trying them, and he says he's really enjoying it. So he's getting really into that stuff. He ain't going to do a video. There's no way. He is not going to do a channel, and he's not going to do videos, so forget that. But it would be nice if he would, because then he could do all these examinations of Old Forester, different Old Forester bourbons. And he's got an interesting insight on things, so, but too bad it isn't going to happen. I'm just looking forward to when he breaks open that bottle of Founders CBS Canadian Breakfast Stout. He said, let's wait, because I want to put some age on it. I said, okay. They use the same mash bill as Woodford Reserve. Oh, okay. Huh. That's even more interesting. And I've never had Woodford Reserve, but I've heard about it for good long while now. All right, so to wrap this up, Redemption High Rye is not performing well. It loses to a $10.99 for a 1,000 milliliter bottle, which I like this bottle though. This bottle is heavy glass. Listen to the sound it makes. It's almost like those glass chimes, you know, in the Middle Ages. Can you hear that? That's a great bottle. That is a great bottle. MD 2020. Okay, Jay. Well, stay tuned. You might see something that you wouldn't believe you'd see on this channel. Well, some people would believe it because they know me. Don't equate price with quality. Amen, because that hasn't been working out in my case. Reviewing liquor can add up. You got that right. Makes you a discerning shopper. You got that right. You cannot equate price with quality in most cases from my experience, because I think people are getting hosed. Now, this bottle sounds okay. Who do you think Redemption's trying to copy with this bottle design? You have any ideas? I'm not going to say, but I think we can kind of figure that out. Jason says, same with age. Scotch, wink, wink. I don't understand that comment, but I have a bunch of bottles of Scotch in my cabinet. My friend David said, oh my goodness, all that rot gut. I said, that's not rot gut. Jefferson's has the flat wide bottle. Okay. I've got so many Scotch, not so many, but I've got a good number of Scotches coming up. I wish I could do them now, right? Do them now, but I can only do a little bit of liquor every day. This is it for today, you see. And tomorrow I'll drink a little bit of that Sacred Bond, and then maybe Saturday and Sunday I'll do some more taste challenges. But the final point here is that if Redemption Rye bombs again, I think I'm going to just kill the taste challenges, because there's no point to it. I don't mean kill taste challenges all around. I mean for that brand. So I'm going to put it up against Jim Beam. And if it falls, oh, I'm sorry, Old Crow. Now this was good. This is good. Old Crow. Now come on now. It got beat by Kentucky Tavern, a brand of bourbon that most people never heard of. If it bombs against Old Crow, a brand of bourbon that everybody's heard of, that's it. There's no point in doing any more taste challenges with it. I'll just drink it down over the next few months and forget about it. I'll chalk it up to a bad decision, paying $20. It wasn't a bad decision in the sense that I was able to do a hangout with Tanya Mikowski. That was worth it. So I told her I'll do it for you. Otherwise, I wouldn't have bought it. Jason says a lot of Scotch snobs are upset that some distilleries are removing age statements and or increasing prices. And he says he's been on a rye kick lately. if you're on a rye kick, Sazerac is a place to be because Sazerac loves to make high rye products. You know what I mean? Buffalo Trace, Barton Distillery. Tanya is a cutie. I wish she would grow her hair long again. Like, she posts photos on Facebook where her hair 5 years ago used to be long down below her shoulders. And I always tell her, bring that long hair back, that long red hair, but I guess she isn't going to do it. But it looked a lot. I just like that, you know. In her case, some women, their long hair doesn't look good, but that's usually not the case. Do you prefer Sazerac to Rittenhouse? I never had any Rittenhouse liquor, so I can't. Sazerac. I can only answer for Sazerac products. I don't know about the other one. I love short hair on women. Same with tattoos, muscles, and swag. And that's where we got to disagree heavily. But don't get me started on all of that. But let's forget about all that. All right. So anyway, another pretty much colossal failure for Redemption High Rye. Sorry, Redemption. I think their rye mash bill is barely over 51%. Who? I'm talking about Sazerac has a rye mash bill that tends to be higher than this. Jack Daniel's rye is 70%. No, I'm not talking about rye whiskeys now. Hold on a minute. Back up. I'm talking about bourbons that tend to have a higher rye content than average. Okay? I'm not talking about rye whiskey, okay? So, yeah, you're getting off onto rye. Sazerac makes their own rye whiskey, Sazerac rye, and there's different ages on those. Then I saw at Mathern's they have Pikesville rye that used to be made in Baltimore County, Maryland. So I'm not talking about rye whiskey. I don't have a single rye whiskey in my whole house. So I'm not talking about that. I am not talking about that. That's not going to happen in this video channel for years, if ever. Not that I'm opposed to it. So yeah, we have bourbon, Tennessee whiskey, rye, wheat, corn, very similar. Yeah, they're all whiskey. No, I have the Scoresby Scotch, the Clan McGregor, and I told my daughter, did you finish that Clan McGregor? She said, oh, it's going to take me 10 years to drink that bottle. I bought her a brand new bottle of that. And she says, I don't mess with that kind of stuff. I'm like, good grief. I wasted $10, over $10 to take it. I want her to drink the darn stuff. If she doesn't drink it, next time I see her, I'm going to say, give me the bottle back. If you don't mind, I'll drink. I mean, I hate to see it just waste. I don't like waste. Surprised to see the Beer Whisperer reviewing Irish whiskey, Bushmill 16. You shouldn't be surprised. He drinks a lot of whiskey, quite a bit. He's done many whiskey videos. For some reason, I thought your daughter lived with you. Well, no, I mean, she's going to graduate school. She has her own place to live. That's been the case for years. You know, people grow up, they move out. Well, some people don't grow up and they don't move out. They stay at home and play video games all day and irritate people on the internet. They really do nothing all day. They live at home with mom and dad and do nothing. They're 33 years old and do nothing. That's a sad. For some reason, I thought he says he stays away from Scotch because it has a pretentious image. That makes no sense to me because Scotch is a major type of whiskey. And why would you not address Scotch? I wouldn't care if it had a pretentious image or not. That's craziness to me. I have to reject that viewpoint if he actually made that viewpoint or that statement because it makes no sense. But anyway, I have the Clan McGregor. I have the Scoresbys. I have Cuddy Sark. There's another Scotch. Oh, the Buchanan. Yeah, I got a number of those. I can understand something like price, right? Like, I'm not going to pay for a name, right? I'm not going to pay. And then I read a long article about single malt, how single malt is sort of a flim flam thing. Like, people are sort of like in some ways, it's like a scam. They were saying that it doesn't mean much. It doesn't really mean what people think it means, and they're falling for it. That the single malts are actually blended also. So yeah, there's a lot of scams in the beer world too, where people pay a lot of money, but what they're getting ain't that great. I tried the Cutty Sark Prohibition, reminding me a bit of Canadian whiskey, toffee. Yeah, I never had that, and I have not seen it, but I do have an unopened bottle of Cutty Sark, which I've never tried, but that's a very famous brand. But then, you're talking about pretentiousness. People would get on the air and say, Cutty Sark. I'd put a gun to my head before I drank that garbage. That type of attitude, Or they'll say, the funniest thing, they'll say things like, no one drinks that. Right, that's why it's sold in every liquor store, because no one drinks it. I don't mind if people say I don't like it. Well, that's fine if you don't like it. But they'll say the same thing about beer. No one drinks Budweiser. Really? It's the 4th selling beer in America, and it's the #1 selling beer brand on the planet Earth, but no one drinks it. Okay. And then it's like, no one likes that stuff. Right. I mean, no one likes Budweiser, because if you go to every bar room on the earth, you'll see it, because nobody likes it, right? And it's horrible. It's a 0 out of 100, right? It makes sense. Now, those kind of statements. Have you watched Ralphie's reviews? I sure have. He gets a lot of views. He seems to know what he's talking about a lot more than I do. Obviously, that's his major hobby, whiskey. So, yeah. Jason Voorhees says, Scotch snobs. Yeah, I don't care about snobs. When I do a video, I'm about to post a video that's going to, woo, well, get ready. He just hit 100,000 subscribers. That's great. That's awesome. I mean, most of those guys promote their channels major league. You know what I mean? They hiring a service, and that's fine. I don't ever see Ralphie bragging about his subs. They hire a service to pull a crowd. You know what I mean? And that's fine. I only have a problem with people that brag on subs, but they hired a service. Well, it's like, yeah, you have a beautiful girlfriend, but you paid for her to be your girlfriend. So she's not like a real girlfriend because you paid money for her to stand next to you at the party. Well, he's been doing videos for nearly 10 years. Yeah. Greg. Yeah. Probably Greg's beer reviews. Yeah. Okay. Well, I like to talk about video reviewers, and maybe in about 4 years, we'll do, no, it'll be longer than that. We'll do a 20th anniversary retrospective on video reviewers, because I think that started in 2006. That's the earliest I could ever find of a beer review, 2006. And those people that did that are long gone. All right, thanks, folks. I got to post a video, and that's going to be a little different, but you'll see what I'm talking about. Oh my God. But I only felt bad for 24 hours. I only felt sickly for 24 hours. After 24 hours, the feeling of illness wore off. That's the foreshadowing. That's the clickbait.